Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vlogcast. I'm here with my guest, Drew Brody.
What's up? What's up?
How's it going, man?
Good, man. Nice
What's
to see
your
you.
what do you want to be called for this podcast?
Let's just go Drew.
Drew?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Do you have
Yeah.
do you have any nicknames?
I do actually. Back in college, a lot of my friends, they call me Brody. They just use my last name.
Yeah, definitely.
There was two of us. There was two Drews. So I was like, which one are you calling? You calling that Drew or that Drew?
Bro, dude, 100%.
And so they're just like, you know what? We're gonna call you Brody. It's a cooler
Dude,
nickname.
that makes
cooler
sense.
last name.
But you like to go by Drew.
Yeah, I mean, Drew's works. Honestly, in the end, if people grab onto Brody,
Yeah.
Brody, it is. Like,
I think Brody's like a more guy thing because you call people bro so often that like adding DY is just easy.
right.
Hey,
Cool story, bro. Like
yeah.
it's everywhere.
Yo, I literally I've probably called one of my friends, hey, Brody, like at some point in time, just because I was trying to find another word other than bro.
Right.
Anyways, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, dude. It's a nice setup.
Thank you,
I told
man.
you this when I walked in. I was like, we got the green screen. We got
you, man.
we got everything going on.
Yeah, so it's funny. Almost every podcast I've done,
Yeah.
there's been like a minuscule update,
Mhm.
but now the minuscule updates are becoming bigger because like I've turned minuscule updates into one bigger update.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for example, this boom arm that we got on this table right now,
Right.
is like several episodes deep into like my life, but like not in the world of like YouTube.
Right.
In the world of YouTube, it'll be like, whoa,
You got something new.
all of a sudden, yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah. But so you are a freelance filmmaker.
Yep.
Living and working in Washington, D.C., DMV area.
Yep.
And how long you been in the DMV?
So I've been here for about 20 years.
Okay.
Moved here when I was in my childhood years.
Right. Where were you born?
I was born in born in Colorado actually.
Oh, cool.
Yep, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Dude.
Yeah, man.
I love it there.
Everyone says it's beautiful. I need to make it back. I honestly don't think I've been back since we left when I was, who knows, 7, 8 years old. But everyone is telling me that I need to get back. It's so nice there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to believe that where you're from, you have to leave enough to realize how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
Like, when I leave D.C., I realize how beautiful it is because people tell me, like, well, you're from D.C.,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And I'm like, I guess it is.
Right. Like, honestly, I just know Colorado based off the home videos that we have. Like,
There you go.
I don't know Colorado for Colorado.
Okay.
It's just like, oh, that's what's
So
in the
you-
video.
So you moved here pretty young, and you've lived
Moved here based off dad's job.
Gotcha.
And then just went, did this all school, right? Middle school, high school, all here. Went to college here, University of Maryland.
Okay.
Go Terps.
Hell yeah.
And then graduated and got into the workforce doing originally journalism, like I studied in college. And then from there, decided the political news scene was not for me. And then went into more post-production, behind the scenes,
Okay.
doing the editing, which is what I've been doing for a good 3-4 years now.
Okay. And so you studied journalism.
Yes. Yep.
What was that like?
It was great. It was
Yeah.
great. Maryland, awesome school, great school for journalism. Loved it. But I hesitate and I pause there because freshman year I go in excited, ready to do it, like really gun-ho about it. And by senior year, I'm just like, okay, I enjoy it. It's cool. It's
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, there's parts of journalism that you like.
Right.
That
It
you're
was
passionate about.
it was a steady, I guess maybe decline, but it was just like I loved it going in as freshman. I loved it even before. I did a lot of stuff in high school to learn camera work and learn editing, and my dad's a journalist, so I had Adobe Premiere Pro because of him at the age of 14, doing some editing there and here and there. Just, I loved it. And so freshman year of college, loved it still.
Okay.
But by senior year, I was like, okay, this is cool. Maybe I need to get into the workforce and see what it's actually like at a company
Okay.
to know if I really like gel with it or not.
Gotcha.
And so that's why I hesitated, because I love the school, I love the program, I love journalism,
Okay.
I loved editing for those 4 years. But by the time I graduated, I was like, I need to check this out more. I need to figure this out, you know?
Yeah. So I definitely want to do a deep dive on the way you grew up and you're having Premiere Pro as a young kid.
Yeah.
But I also want to focus on what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Because I want to, obviously, as an editor myself, I want to find out how much having Premiere Pro at that age helps you figure out that what you want to do now maybe doesn't exactly equate to the same thing.
Right.
Because I'm going to do roughly the same thing myself. I mean, I love editing.
Yeah.
It's like what I'm probably the best at when it comes to like doing something with a carefree attitude. Like I would do it for money and I would do it for free.
Right.
I do it for free much more often than I do it for money.
Right.
But that's because the stuff that I do for free is in less demand. Yeah, it's in less demand. So there's like much less interest.
Right.
So I just got to do it for free in order to actually do it, to get it out there.
Yeah.
And then hopefully someone will be like, wow, that's cool, and they'll want it. But let me get back to you for basically, you grew up having Premiere Pro because your dad...
He was a journalist. He's been a journalist for a while. He started as a producer, and then became on-air journalist. And just in his line of work, they gave him, the editing software, Final Cut Pro, I think Avid at one point, and then Adobe.
Very cool.
So yeah, as a 13, 14-year-old, and him showing me how he's making these videos and how he's putting stuff together.
Oh, cool. So you watched him?
Yeah, I watched him.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I picked up a camera, and I wasn't really a journalist or into journalism, but my dad was like in the internet gold rush, basically. Okay. So I was very comfortable with the internet. Right. And I found putfile.com. Have you ever heard of it?
No. What is that?
It's basically like the oldest school, like the old school of YouTube. Not really. It was just like a place.
What's it called?
Putfile, P-U-T file.
Putfile.
Yeah, it's basically a place where you could go and put files that people could watch.
Interesting.
It was just, I was just so young. My brain wasn't thinking about distribution yet.
Right.
So I was shooting little things.
Right.
In my camera, and then one of my friends said,
"What kind of camera was it?"
A Canon, like the ones that you just like press a button on top, and then two little lenses pop. And people still use these things today, but they're much more advanced now. Right. Now like Charles Trippy. Have you ever heard the name Charles Trippy? No. He's like a YouTube vlogger. He's been doing it for like 10 years every day. He vlogged like his brain surgery. What? Yeah, like anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm gonna go watch that later. Go ahead.
The camera I used wasn't powerful enough to make skits within the camera. I just like had to shoot the skit within the 10 seconds I had to shoot. Right. Anyways, long story short, I had someone to put them. It was called Putfile, and years later, it turns into my friend. The same guy goes, "Yo, put that on YouTube now." I was like, "Cool," but I was never really into journalism. Wow. My dad was never a journalist. So what was it like growing up, making like being interested in journalism, and then going to school for journalism and becoming a journalist? Right. Like how,
I think what it was for me, as I look back on it, like he would come home after going, again, he was a producer first. So as a producer, he would be able to travel with, and he was doing sports producing. So he would travel with the Washington Redskins. He would travel with the Washington Capitals. He would travel with these teams, and he would cover those teams with the journalist that he was with. And then he would come back and he would bring back, a jersey or a hat or whatever, memorabilia. And he would be like, "Yeah, I talked to so-and-so player." And I was like, that is so cool. Like, I want to be you one day. I want to be the one going around with these players, talking to these players, getting to know them, coming back with like these cool jersey, the swag, all of this stuff. And so, as a 12, 13-year-old kid and even younger, like, that was just really cool. Like, I remember him bringing home, I think it was a Terrell Davis, a Denver, Colorado's running back Terrell Davis jersey. And I was like so ecstatic. And I was like, whatever he's doing to get this, I want to do that. Okay. So that's where I think the love for journalism came. It was not even for journalism in what journalism is, which is finding the story, journalism is investigating stories out there, investigating the things that are happening and why they're happening, and to call things to light. And at 12 years old, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking, I get to meet the players, I get to get swag. How cool of a job is that? And so that's why I continued in that track. And then as I got older, 14, 15, and I'm starting to use Adobe Premiere and starting to do that stuff in high school, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the camera work. I enjoyed the creative process of putting a story together. I enjoyed spending time and hours, putting titles on, like chyrons.
And like news?
Yeah, well, like, no, just like when you're editing and you just put like a lower third title.
Okay.
Just like having, like, even that, something basic as putting the lower third on somebody.
Gotcha. That was interesting.
Interesting to me.
Like that was a creative process for you.
Yeah, it was creative for me. And
gotcha. Like adding those graphics to the...
Yeah, adding the Chiron graphics to even just a simple video was interesting and entertaining to me. And I think it was just a creative outlet for me. Right. Not just the Chirons, but just putting the story together, because I don't really see myself, honestly, as a creative person. Like, I feel like I struggle to be creative, and it takes a lot of work for me to have creative ideas. Okay. And it takes me a while to brainstorm. So to be able to do something in that world of editing was a creative process for me, and so I ran with it, and
gotcha.
And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this in college and see where it goes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're much more to journalism than than maybe a skit. Yeah, I mean, as to where a skit would require like acting per se.
Right. And the funny thing is, again, looking back on it, and I keep saying looking back on it because I'm in this whole transition period right now of like, why did I do the things I did when I was younger, and what am I going to do now for the things that I want in the future? Mm-hmm. And so looking back on it, I did like to act. I did like to entertain. Like, I did musical theater my whole life. Starting at 12 years old, I did musicals. I've been over like...
Yeah, because you took when I was talking to you a while ago, you said you were taking a break to get into... Was it theater?
Yeah, like I've been doing community theater outside of college for the last 5 years or so. Okay. So I've been able to do a few productions.
So it's not necessarily even that you don't want to shoot a skit, because you do like acting.
Yeah.
It's just more about the fact that when it comes to editing, you need something like chyrons and graphics and stuff like that in order to interest you.
I think what it came down to, and what I liked about editing in its simplest form, is I like storytelling. Okay,
yeah, and I think that's where we can relate, because storytelling can sometimes require maximum graphics.
Yeah.
Or sometimes your story doesn't require any graphics. Right. And that would be great editing for you.
Yep.
If a story that you wanted to tell didn't require any graphics but was still interesting to tell.
Yep.
And I agree. That's why I like shooting stuff. Like when I'm invited to go to an event.
Right.
Like I went to this event last night, and I put my camera on a tripod, and I put a wireless lavalier mic on.
Yeah.
This is basically
welcome to
man on the street
the novel
type interview.
I love those.
Without a handheld mic.
Okay.
I didn't have a handheld. I'm in soon.
We're working on this boom first. We'll get there.
So I was just like walking around and like, and I the reason I did that is because sometimes I like having the camera out in front of me.
Yeah.
Like holding the camera, because then people think you're just like making a video to like show to your mom.
Yeah.
But then you come around, if you walk around with the camera like the one I have, people will kick you out because they're like, that's not for fun. You're doing that. You're getting paid. I'm like, no, I just invested, in quality. Sorry.
Right.
And then so I've invested in like a membership in the National Press Photographers Association.
Okay.
And so now I can walk around with a camera that looks professional, and I can still be amateur.
Yeah.
Because if someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, this is professionals only, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm professional. It just doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
And then it goes the other way. Someone goes, hey, we don't allow filming here. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm actually professional.
Yeah,
but like
both worlds.
They say don't misuse this. I definitely don't misuse it. It's just, if somebody hires me for something specific, like if someone hires me to come shoot their volleyball thing,
right,
and it's like a family volleyball session, and someone's like, hey, no filming, I'm like, oh, I'm here, like I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But it also goes the other way, where if like I've used it before, where my friend wanted me to come vlog the cherry blossom parade,
right,
and on my way through the cherry blossom parade, I had to like go find her, and they kept being like, hey, this is professionals only, and I showed my MPPA badge because I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, you're good.
Interesting.
So like, whether I'm doing something professional to make someone look more professional, or whether I'm doing something amateur to make someone look more realistic or like vloggy, like the badge works kind of both ways. So that's a really interesting aspect to like what like you can do to. I mean, I think it's $100 a year, and
it's not bad.
It's basically, I'm assuming that's what amateur journalists. It's like I feel like an amateur journalist or like a freelance journalist when I walk around with that.
Right. You have a little power, don't you?
Kind of. It's just like a get out of jail free card.
Right.
That you just pay for.
Yeah, and collect $200 when you go past go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
So how was college for the journalism lifestyle?
Yeah.
Was it fun?
It was fun. All my friends will say that I didn't do any homework, because while they're out there, studying hours at the library, I'm in the computer lab making videos, like doing NAT packages. And so they obviously didn't think I was doing any work because it seemed like I was just playing all day, which to some extent I was. I was playing all day. It was fun. Like I didn't work. It was a lot of work. I had nights, midnight, 1 a.m., working on Adobe Premiere in the student lab and, trying to get a package out because I didn't hit record. And now I'm like, great, what's the story? Because I forgot to hit record on that interview. Mm-hmm. So there was those moments. But overall, I mean, it was fun what I was doing. And I was able to have a college life. I didn't feel like I was stuck in a room studying all day. I had to take math, history, science, just like everyone else. But when I got to the more serious classes, I got to, go out and have fun and tell people stories. I was telling stories about the campus, and it was fun. Sorry you didn't pick that, major.
Right.
Sorry you picked accounting and finance. Like, not my fault that you got to do math all day. Like,
dude, amen. Yeah, exactly. I mean, my dad told me when I graduated high school, he's like, you're not ready for college. First off,
yeah.
So I took like 10 months off.
Okay, cool. Like a gap year.
It was supposed to be a gap year. Yeah. Because then there was like Christmas.
Okay.
Then I went to Full Sail University, and it was a 2-year bachelor degree. Okay. So you go to school all the time.
Oh wow.
It was like roughly 10 hours a day for the first year, and then the second year was roughly 16 hours a day.
What?
But it was like in 4-hour sessions. Okay. So you go to school from like, 1 to 5, 7 to 12, 1 to 5, 7 to like. So it's like you go to lesson then lab.
Crazy.
Yeah, 4-hour lesson, 4-hour lab, 4-hour lesson, 4-hour lab, and basically then you like pretty much get quiz on it, and then you like a few lessons later you get like a test on it,
right?
And then you pretty much graduate the class. It's just like.
That's a lot of information.
Learn. Because it was like they were teaching like the structures, like building the blocks for you.
Yeah.
And you had to do the extra work.
Okay.
They're like teaching you how to be creative and seeing if you could do it.
Right.
Kind of. But you can't really teach someone to be creative.
No.
You just got to be able to like motivate them by, if you're paying to like come here to learn this, then you're trusting me to teach you how to learn it, even though it's creativity.
Right.
But like I went there to as a editor. I was getting jobs as an editor.
Okay.
I went there to like get better as an editor, and I did not know I was going to come out being a producer. Like I did not predict that at all.
Interesting.
Now, like you said, so when you graduated, as a journalist, did you graduate with a bachelor's?
Yep, BA broadcast journalism.
Okay.
Yep.
And by the time you graduated, had you kind of realized that there was more things than just editing that you like doing?
Yeah, good question. No, I mean, honestly, I would say that I kind of followed the standard trajectory of most people, students, like the way that it goes, right? You go to college, then you get a job, then you go and, get married. And like, I was following that.
Trying to follow that
route. Yeah, that's what I was trying to follow. That's what I knew. That's what I grew up with, seeing. That's what I was told. So that's what I had in mind. So I was like, okay, graduated. Let's go get a job in broadcast journalism. Not really realizing or understanding like my personality. Like I knew my personality. I knew I was outgoing, extroverted, little type A. Like I knew all those things, but I didn't know how they related to the field I was going in.
Do you have ADD?
I do not. Oh, okay. I do not. But my dad has ADHD.
Okay.
And I think my brother has ADD.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think my brother's not HD. He doesn't have that hyperactivity.
Okay.
But my dad does.
So I'll come back to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but what was it other than the editing that you found that you realized that you kind of enjoyed doing when you started getting jobs?
Right. Well, to be honest, my first job was doing journalism for a political news station.
And when you say journalism, that was like you would go out and shoot and then come back and edit.
Right. So I felt luckily I had somebody that would shoot.
Were you a journalist?
I was video journalist. So
okay.
Or broadcast journalist. I basically reported the news.
You would have set up a camera.
I had a cameraman.
Oh, you had a cameraman.
Luckily, yeah. This news.
Whoa.
No, because this news.
Straight out of college.
Yeah. Well, yeah. About 4 months after college, got this job. It was with One America News, and basically.
You had your own cameraman.
Yeah, but
that's incredible.
I will admit, the first 5 months I was an assistant. I was like plain secretary. I was doing the finances and the buying the snacks off Amazon. Like it was a chill job.
Okay, true.
Then some of the reporters that were there left to go to pursue other things, and they needed someone to step up.
Good. Okay, true. Hell yeah.
6 months in, I step up. Nice. I go in, and like I did that for about 3-4 months. And so I had a cameraman. We go out. He would set it up. I would do a package on whatever the news of the day was. Like.
So he would set up the camera. You would stand in front of it with all your notes.
With the mic, yeah, and just like I'm outside the Capitol right now, and we're talking about this and this and this, and
exactly.
And I was just doing my stand up, and then I would
go
back
do your tags
and do my tags. Hits. Yep. Drew Brody with One America News.
Yep.
I'm done. Like
just one.
Yep.
Okay. And did you ever do any any other hits for anybody else?
No, so that was it. That was it.
Okay.
I was just working with them. That was for about a year, a little less than a year.
Okay.
And then moved on from there.
You did that for a whole year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like split. It was like 6 months of the secretary.
Is that why you got into editing?
Yeah. It was 6 months
That's
of
so funny.
Yeah, it was 6 months of the secretary work, 6 months of on-air reporting, live news. I mean, I covered the Baltimore riots in Baltimore.
Okay.
And then after that, went to doing post-production, behind the scenes, doing the editing for my first job with an awesome agency in Silver Spring called Fogo Motion. And started with them, and honestly, they taught me everything I know about editing. Like that's where I got my chops in editing. Like school was great, Maryland was great, but I learned a lot from the people that worked there. They really taught me like little tips and tricks about how to navigate in this editing world, and that's where I learned what I know about editing. And that's where I got much quicker and faster and better as a creative storyteller. Yeah, was there for those 2 years.
Wow.
And then of course,
shout out Fogo Motion.
Fogo Motion represent. No, they're great. Awesome company. And then from there went to freelancing, and I've been doing freelancing for about a year, and same stuff, just doing the editing, the promotional content, promotional marketing work for some of the TV networks out there. But it was the first job I had that I realized politics is not for me. Journalism in investigating a story was not for me. Like I just didn't have the desire to go out and find out why these things were happening. Like why the news, like what.
So you went from a desk to the reporter to the editor.
Yep.
Yep. And what is it about editing that you like? Because we know that you like being in front of the camera. You went to school for it. You got a job in it. You took the seat when they needed it. Like you stepped up to the plate when they needed you to take a stand.
Yeah.
You were reported for 6 months.
6 months
with your own cameraman.
Yeah.
And that I feel like that is that is a solid time to realize that like this may not be like the right place for me.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not easy. It's one of the most like threat. It's a scary job.
Yeah. You can't fake giving the news. You know what I mean?
You
either love it or you just don't like it at all.
Right. And if you don't like it, it's so bad.
People can read it. People on TV can be like, he doesn't care about this.
Yeah. Like, especially even more so like if you love giving the news or how do you put it? Love making the news.
Yeah.
Telling the news, but you don't like the story you're telling.
Yeah.
That's even kind of noticeable too.
Right.
Because
so true.
I worked with Fox News Channel for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I could tell when someone was like kind of upset that they were like in the studio instead of like at the hurricane, you know?
Yeah.
But I could also tell when someone was like happy that they weren't outside.
Yeah, that was me. I was like, I'm so glad I'm indoors right now and not out there getting rained on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been me.
But there was it was interesting to like be in the studio with the person that is usually out and about. And like the person that is always complaining about it is like it's out there in the hurricane.
Yeah.
Because they're on mic going, why did I do this? Why did I do this? Man, why did I make this decision? But that's just like the banter you make when you need to like warm up your voice and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, you just gotta like say the stuff that you probably shouldn't say. Like, why? Oh my god, why am I here? Oh my god, why did I do this? But then they come back and they're like, man, I wish I was out there. So it's just like that's the mindset you get, like in my opinion, you gotta have. Like it's like a love-hate relationship kind of thing.
Right.
Where if you love it completely, you're gonna you won't eventually.
Yeah.
Because you'll find a reason to hate it.
Right.
But if it's a love-hate, like if you love it because you hate it, then I feel like you'll hate the things you love about it and love the things you hate about it.
Interesting.
And you'll get like stuck.
Interesting.
So I don't like politics. I found out that the easy way.
Yeah.
Like
I can't do it.
I enjoy talking about it because I like to learn. But I don't like to have a black and white conversation about like.
Right.
I don't mean racial conversation.
No, but yeah.
But I don't like that. I'm usually in the gray line.
Right.
Is what I mean to say. Like, I'm usually right down the middle.
Right.
I'm pretty neutral when it comes to politics. Until someone asks me for like a straight up opinion about something, I have opinions, but like I don't want to have I don't want to convince you on something. You know?
I'm so with you on that, man. Like I have thoughts and opinions, but I just do not care to share them. Like I just do not care. I mean, and this is partly why like I have social media, but I don't really use it too much because I just don't care to put out on my Twitter 140 characters of what I'm thinking. Like I just don't care to do that.
Right.
Like I have so many other things that I want to do or other things that I want to pursue, and I know social media is huge and it's definitely somewhere to be for branding's sake or just to build a career. Like it's very useful, but to just post like I'm eating at Taco Bell right now or something very serious like politics, like it's just I haven't found.
So you're not on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it. Like
you don't use
like I don't even know when the last time I posted was. Honestly, it probably was like 2 years ago.
So how are people gonna find you in the future if they wanna find out more from you?
Yeah. I believe all of my social media platforms are Drew D Brody, so you can find me there at Drew D Brody.
Got you. But before we go, how is the job search in the DMV area so what is it that you've decided that you're looking for? Because when I go on to Indeed or Glassdoor or LinkedIn, I can search video editor, but can also search like entertainer, and it says like the same job experience. I can search journalist that has the same job experience, job call. Like they all like all the things that you can like diverge into these days when it comes to like creating content. Yeah. Like what is it that you tend to search for when you're looking for a job in the freelance world in the DMV area? Like jobs that is it all word of mouth?
Yeah, well, at this point, I haven't even, been on Indeed or Glassdoor or any of these sites. I haven't even searched because I'm still trying to figure out what do I want to search, right?
Okay.
Like, what is it that I want to search? So I've actually been starting to just think about what are my strengths, what do I enjoy, and just who am I as a person? Like, what's my personality that I can offer to people? Is
there anything that you're doing that besides, well, obviously you're doing theater still?
Yeah, well, last time I did it was about a year ago, but theater is always something in the back of my mind.
Gotcha. So it's something that you enjoy doing, but you don't necessarily like. That's not something that you're searching, obviously.
Right. I'm not trying to go and necessarily be on Broadway. Like hey, if anyone out there knows somebody that wants to put me on Broadway, I'd love to be on Broadway.
Drew D Brody right there on Instagram.
Yeah, whatever. I'm in.
But I guess the point is that you're not searching Broadway jobs on Indeed.
No.
So when you go on Indeed, if you were to go look for a job in the industry that you went to college for and got broadcast journalism degree, what is it that you would like search for?
Right. So are you asking like what am I going to search for if I'm still trying to pursue broadcast journalism or what am I searching for now?
Yeah, what are you searching for now?
So I think I've narrowed some things down that kind of relate to broadcast journalism and film,
and
some that just are completely far from it. You know what I mean? So in film and broadcast, I'm looking maybe to get into a little bit more of like a producer, but producer for TV shows. And movies.
And you actually just recently came back from working on a show.
Right. So there's a show out there right now called The Chosen. And it's an awesome show. We just finished filming the last 4 episodes of season 1. There's 8 in total. And the show is basically an original multi-seasonal show on the life of Jesus, but through the eyes and through the lens of the disciples who walked with him and through the people that were with him through his 3-year ministry. And so this show is really, really neat. And it's really like everyone that I've talked to, because I worked as investor relations. So, and I can get onto all that, what that means. But the people that came to the set, that took a tour of the set with me, they would just talk about how this show is not like every other Jesus show that they've seen or every other Jesus movie they've seen. It is not cliche. It is not cheesy. It's real. It's authentic. You get to see the disciples and other people that met Jesus and how they saw Jesus through their eyes, or what it could have looked like for them to see Jesus through what they were going through in life, through Peter and his struggles as a fisherman, or through Mary, and we know that she was possessed by demons, and how she might have come to realize the Savior of the world and what he did to save her from where she was and who she became. And so just seeing these interactions between Jesus and the people that he met is a really, really cool story. And I'm just very thankful that I got to be a part of it for the last 4 episodes and hopefully for more seasons to come. But that show that we filmed in Texas for about 6 weeks, my role as investor relations was basically to be a people person. And that's who I am. I've realized that my personality is a people person. You know, they were like, you're investor relations and PR. And I told everyone that came through, PR doesn't stand for public relations. It stands for personal relationships to me. Like, it was a personal relationship with each person that came in. And so knowing that, that's what I want to pursue. Those are the jobs that I want to get into. I want to get into jobs where I can be there for people and I can help people just grow together. You know, I just enjoy with my extrovertedness, with my, is that a word? I don't know. Extrovertedness?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good.
It's got to be a word.
I hope so. Look it up later.
Extrovert with a...
Yeah, tweet me. I won't get back to you. I'm not on Twitter. But yeah, no. But yeah, just with my outgoing personality, I realized that I really enjoy people. I really enjoy connecting with people. And so those are the jobs that I want to go down, go and pursue. Producer is one of those roles. I saw a couple of the producers there, and they have those people skills as well as the nerdy, like very organized. They have their budgets to make sure that this project gets up off the ground. They're very organized, detailed, structured. They follow like their way of doing it, and it works. And so being able to combine both their like very organized, detailed, and planned out ways, along with the people aspect, I like those 2 areas. That fits my personality. So I want to combine those areas. So producer, project manager, those things seem to be more of what I'm going to try to pursue moving forward. And then editing's on the side, you know? Right,
yeah. I mean, you can be a jack of all trades, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're also an editor in that case. So, wow, you can edit too? So did you have a resume that you submitted for that role that you got hired for?
No, honestly, that role that I got hired for was through word of mouth.
Word of mouth, okay.
It was through connections.
Somebody just asked you if you wanted to do it?
Yeah. Fortunately, my dad had interviewed someone years ago, almost a decade ago, and reached out to him and said, do you know of anything in the entertainment world that is going on? And that guy responded back, and he said, he was one of the producers, and he said, yeah, we're doing this thing called The Chosen. I had never heard of it. I didn't know it existed. And so then I looked it up, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to be a part of that. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. That's sick. So then next thing I know, I'm in Texas and working for The Chosen and working as an investor relations coordinator. So
cool.
Pretty cool stuff. And yeah, that's definitely more so the way I want to go. The editing is a hobby, I would say now, for me. I enjoy it, but after working the last 3 years at this at this company as a freelancer, I just see how those editors work, and I see what they do on their, off days or when they're not working, and they're learning how to edit better. They're learning the camera stuff. They're learning outside of the 8 hours of work that we do. And I just realized I don't have the desire to do that. Right. I don't have the desire that after work at 6 p.m. to go home and keep studying about how to become a better editor. I'm more interested in the personal growth, personal development, it's all about people. It's all about persons. And so for me, that's probably the direction that would best be suited for me. And so that's what I'm going to pursue. I love editing. I like it. I'll do a friend's wedding, like I told you maybe earlier. I'll do a friend's wedding. I'll do
weddings. Oh my gosh. That's triggering.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, tell me about it. I did an engagement once. That was a disaster. But yeah, I mean that's definitely the way I think I want to go, and and then there's some stuff that's not even related to TV at all, like personal finance and helping people get their money straight. Just helping people find out how to stay in a budget and how to do better with their money, and that's completely not related to TV at all. But that's an interest of mine. So
interesting. Okay,
we'll see.
Damn, man. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations on The Chosen.
Thanks, man.
I'm looking forward to it. Is it out?
Yeah.
On.
Thanks for asking that. Appreciate it. Yeah, so you can go to their website, www.thechosen.tv.
Okay.
Thechosen.tv. And right now they have the first free episode. You can watch the trailer. Okay. You can watch the first episode for free. And then the next 4 episodes, the last 4, are going to be published by Thanksgiving time, Thanksgiving, Christmas time. So
okay, cool.
Then season 1 will be completed. All 8 episodes will be out, and then you can go there and purchase your DVDs.
Well, if you got to go to Chosen,
thechosen.tv.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well,
check it out.
Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, man.
Good luck with the job search.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to hearing about your new career dive as a public relations or project manager.
Yeah.
Things like this. Hopefully don't have to sign any NDAs so that you can
seriously
come in and hang out and tell me some fun stories.
Of course, man.
Because you'll have all the juicy stories.
I'd love to be back. This is an awesome place, man.
Thanks,
You're doing good work, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
You're doing good work.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
Have a good day.
As always.
Peace.
You're watching The Wink. Don't forget to subscribe.